Welcome to Soothing Moonlight, a sanctuary of serenity and a realm of relaxation. I am Matthew Higgins, your guide and narrator for tonight's journey into the world of peaceful storytelling. As the stars ascend in the night sky and the world quiets around us, let us embark on a tranquil adventure, one that promises to ease your mind and soothe your spirit. Before we delve into our story, let us take a moment for a brief meditation, a gentle pause to help you transition from the hustle of the day into the calm embrace of the evening. Allow yourself to find a comfortable position, be it lying down or sitting in a cozy chair. Close your eyes gently and take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, feeling the cool night air fill your lungs, bringing clarity and calmness. Exhale softly, releasing any tension or worries that have gathered during the day. Imagine yourself in a serene forest, the moonlight filtering through the canopy of trees, casting a soft, silvery glow on the world around you. The air is fresh and filled with the soothing scents of pine and earth. As you walk along a gentle path, the soft rustle of leaves underfoot harmonizes with the distant, gentle flow of a stream. Each step you take brings you deeper into a state of relaxation, further away from the noise and haste of daily life. Now, picture a clearing ahead, bathed in the gentle light of the moon. As you step into this clearing, you feel a profound sense of peace envelop you. The grass beneath your feet is soft and cool. The night air is still and comforting. Here, in this tranquil space, you are free from all concerns and stress. You are in a place of complete calm, surrounded by the beauty and stillness of nature. Let your mind wander through this serene landscape, each thought floating away like leaves on a gentle breeze. Feel the tension in your muscles easing, your body becoming light and relaxed. From the tips of your toes to the crown of your head, let relaxation flow through you, easing any discomfort, soothing any restlessness. In this state of calm, let us gradually shift our focus to the story we are about to share. Tonight's tale is one of warmth, community, and the simple joys of life. It is a story set in a quaint village, a place where time moves slowly and every moment is savored. As you listen, let the narrative envelop you, carrying you away to a world where tranquility reigns and every character is a friend waiting to be met. In our story, we will explore the charming streets of this village, meet its delightful inhabitants, and experience the magic of their everyday lives. Each chapter is a new discovery, a new opportunity to lose yourself in the gentle rhythms of a world both enchanting and familiar. As I guide you through this narrative, let my voice be a comforting presence, leading you through the twists and turns of our tale. Allow the words to paint vivid pictures in your mind, creating scenes of beauty and peace. Feel the connection with the characters, as if you are walking beside them, sharing in their joys and triumphs. Our story is more than just words. It is an experience, a journey into a world where the heart finds rest and the mind finds joy. It is an invitation to step away from the complexities of life and enter a space of storytelling and imagination. So, as we begin our story, remain in this state of relaxation, your mind open and receptive, your heart calm and content. Let the narrative unfold around you, a tapestry of words and emotions, weaving a tale that promises to transport you to a place of peace and serenity. And now, without further ado, let us begin our journey. Open your heart to the wonders of our story. Let your imagination take flight and allow yourself to be carried away to a world of soothing tales and gentle dreams. Welcome to the enchanting world of our story, a journey that starts here in the comforting embrace of soothing moonlight. Chapter 1. The Winter Hearth. In the heart of Willowdale, a village wrapped in the gentle embrace of rolling hills and ancient woods, stood Charlotte's Hearth, a bakery renowned for its warmth and the heavenly aroma of freshly baked bread and pastries. As winter cloaked the village in a blanket of snow, Charlotte prepared for the annual Winter Hearth Festival, a celebration of warmth, community, and the season's festive cheer. Charlotte, with her ever-present apron dusted in flour and her hair tucked neatly under a knitted cap, was more than just a baker. She was a pillar of the village, known for her kindness and the way her laughter filled the bakery like a melody. The bakery, passed down from her mother, was her world. It was a place where memories were baked into every loaf of bread and every pastry told a story. The bakery's interior was as inviting as a warm hug on a cold day. Rustic wooden shelves lined the walls, showcasing bread of all shapes and sizes, while glass cases displayed an array of pastries, each more tempting than the last. A large, old-fashioned fireplace sat at the heart of the bakery, its crackling fire a beacon of warmth for the chilly villagers. As the festival approached, Charlotte planned a special menu that featured seasonal favorites and new creations inspired by the winter landscape. She introduced a spiced apple bread, a nod to the last harvest of the year, and a series of pastries filled with rich chocolate and winter berries. On the morning of the festival, Charlotte arrived at the bakery while the village was still asleep, the streets silent except for the soft crunch of snow underfoot. She began her preparations, her hands expertly kneading dough, and her heart filled with the joy of her craft. She adorned the bakery's entrance with garlands of evergreens and twinkling lights, transforming it into a winter wonderland. As the villagers woke to the enticing smell of baking bread and the sight of the festively decorated bakery, they made their way to Charlotte's Hearth. Each person who entered was greeted by Charlotte's beaming smile and the comforting warmth of the fire. Among the guests was Mr. Jenkins, the village's elderly postman, who had been enjoying Charlotte's baked goods since she was a little girl, learning the craft from her mother. He shared stories of past winters and praised Charlotte for keeping the village tradition alive. At a nearby table, a group of young mothers watched their children play, their laughter mixing with the crackling of the fire. Throughout the day, the bakery was filled with the sounds of merry conversation and the clinking of teacups. Charlotte moved among her guests with ease, serving tea and slices of her special winter bread, each interaction a testament to the close-knit community of Willowdale. As the festival drew to a close and night began to fall, casting long shadows on the snow-covered village, Charlotte stood at the door, saying goodbye to her guests. She felt a deep sense of satisfaction, knowing that her bakery had once again brought warmth and joy to the hearts of her fellow villagers. Tired but happy, Charlotte closed the bakery and took a moment to appreciate the stillness of the winter night. She felt a profound connection to Willowdale and its people, grateful for the opportunity to bring a little bit of magic to their lives through her baking. In the quiet of the evening, with the stars twinkling above the snowy village, Charlotte reflected on the success of the day. She looked forward to the coming seasons, each bringing its own beauty and inspiration for her baking. With a heart full of hope and dreams for the future. Charlotte locked the bakery and made her way home, her thoughts already on the next day's baking. Chapter 2. Spring's Blossom. As winter's chill retreated, Willowdale awoke to the tender embrace of spring. Charlotte's hearth, now freed from its snowy shroud, stood radiant in the morning sun, its windows reflecting the vibrant hues of the blooming village. For Charlotte, spring was a season of renewal, not just for nature, but for her baking too. It was a time when the hearth transformed into a symphony of floral scents and pastel colors. Charlotte began her mornings earlier than most, embracing the crisp, dew-soaked air as she unlocked the bakery's doors. She found solace in the quiet hours, a time when her thoughts roamed free among the whir of the mixer and the clatter of pans. This spring brought a fresh wave of creativity, inspired by the blooming daffodils and tulips dotting her garden. The bakery's interior shifted with the season. Gone were the winter's deep hues, replaced by soft pastels and floral arrangements on each table. The fireplace, once the heart of the bakery, now lay dormant, basking in the newfound warmth from outside. Charlotte's spring menu was a tribute to the season's bounty. Lavender-infused scones, lemon poppy seed loaves, and raspberry tartlets graced the shelves. But the star of the season was her strawberry rhubarb pie, a recipe passed down from her grandmother. Its perfect balance of sweet and tart mirrored the essence of spring. One misty morning, as Charlotte arranged a batch of freshly baked croissants, the bell above the door chimed. In came Mrs. Bennet, the village librarian, her eyes bright with excitement. "Charlotte, dear, I have a proposal for you," she said, her voice carrying the enthusiasm of someone with a plan. Intrigued, Charlotte wiped her hands on her apron and leaned closer. Mrs. Bennet explained her idea for a Books and Bakes event at the library. It would be a community gathering where Charlotte's pastries would be paired with spring-themed stories and poems. Charlotte's eyes lit up at the idea. It was a perfect blend of her love for baking and her fondness for literature. The following weeks were a flurry of preparations. Charlotte experimented with new recipes, each designed to complement a specific book or poem. The event was set for a sunny Saturday afternoon, and the entire village buzzed with anticipation. The day of the event arrived, and Charlotte's hearth closed early for the first time in years. Armed with baskets filled with her baked creations, Charlotte and her assistant, a young baker named Ellie, made their way to the library. The air was alive with the fragrance of fresh blooms and the melodious chatter of excited villagers. The library had transformed into a cozy haven with book-themed decorations and comfortable seating areas. As guests arrived, they were greeted with the aroma of Charlotte's pastries, artfully displayed on vintage stands. Charlotte and Ellie moved gracefully among the guests, serving bite-sized pastries and discussing the books that had inspired them. Laughter and lively discussions filled the room, creating a tapestry of shared joy and community spirit. One of the highlights was a reading of Charlotte's favorite poem, Spring Awakening, which she paired with her signature lavender scones. As the poem was recited, the guests savored the delicate flavors, the experience enriched by the harmonious blend of literature and culinary art. As the event drew to a close, Mrs. Bennet took the floor. "Let's thank Charlotte for bringing her magic to our library," she announced, prompting a round of heartfelt applause. Charlotte blushed, her heart swelling with pride and gratitude. Back at the hearth, Charlotte reflected on the day's success. The event had not only brought the community together, but had also reignited her passion for baking. She felt a deep connection to Willowdale and its residents, her role as a baker intertwined with the village's tapestry of life. That night, as Charlotte cleaned the last of the baking trays, she felt a sense of fulfillment. The Books and Bakes event had been a celebration of community, creativity, and the joy of sharing. It was moments like these that made all her hard work worthwhile. Tired but content, Charlotte locked up the bakery and walked home under a starlit sky. The village lay peaceful, its streets lined with the soft glow of street lamps. In the distance, a nightingale sang, its melody a fitting end to a day filled with the joys of spring. Chapter 3. Summer's Flourish. Summer arrived in Willowdale with a flourish of warmth and color. The streets, once adorned with the delicate blossoms of spring, now basked under the golden sun, teeming with vibrant flowers and lush greenery. Charlotte's hearth, a sanctuary of delightful aromas and cool shade, became a haven for villagers seeking respite from the summer heat. The bakery's interior transformed once again, echoing the season's exuberance. Bright sunflowers and daisies graced every table, and the aroma of fresh berries and citrus filled the air. Charlotte, inspired by the abundance of summer fruits, introduced a new line of fruit tarts and berry-infused pastries, each a testament to the season's generosity. One sunny morning, as Charlotte prepared a batch of peach galettes, the bell above the door chimed. In walked Mr. Jasper, the owner of the local fruit orchard. His hands were full of ripe peaches, their sweet fragrance permeating the bakery. "Charlotte, I've brought you the first pick of the season," he announced with a proud smile. Grateful for the gift, Charlotte decided to organize a summer feast at the bakery, a celebration of the season's harvest featuring Mr. Jasper's fruits. The event would not only showcase her culinary skills, but also highlight the local produce of Willowdale. In the weeks leading up to the feast, the bakery buzzed with activity. Charlotte and Ellie experimented with various fruit-based recipes, their excitement growing with each successful creation. From zesty lemon tarts to juicy berry cobblers, each pastry was a tribute to summer's bounty. The day of the summer feast arrived, and the hearth was adorned with colorful decorations and lush greenery. Tables were set outside, under the shade of large umbrellas, creating a festive outdoor setting. The villagers, dressed in their summer best, arrived with anticipation, eager to taste Charlotte's creations. As the guests settled in, Charlotte unveiled her summer menu. The star of the show was a magnificent peach galette, its golden crust glistening in the sunlight. Mr. Jasper beamed with pride as Charlotte credited him for the delicious peaches. The feast was a symphony of flavors and laughter. Guests savored each bite, their palates delighted by the fusion of sweet and tangy notes. Children ran around, their faces smeared with berry juice, while adults engaged in lively conversations, their spirits lifted by the joyous atmosphere. Amid the festivities, Charlotte noticed a young couple, newcomers to Willowdale, looking slightly out of place. With her characteristic warmth, she approached them, offering a plate of her special cherry turnovers. Their faces lit up with appreciation, and soon they were chatting comfortably with other guests, the initial awkwardness melting away. As the sun began to set casting a soft golden hue over the village. The summer feast drew to a close. Guests departed with content smiles and heartfelt thanks, leaving Charlotte and Ellie to clean up, their hearts full of fulfillment. Exhausted but elated, Charlotte sat at a table, sipping a cold lemonade. She reflected on the day's success and the joy her baking brought to the villagers. The summer feast had not only been a celebration of the season's flavors, but also an affirmation of the close-knit community spirit of Willowdale. Closing the bakery that evening, Charlotte felt a deep sense of gratitude. Her journey as a baker had intertwined her life with those of the villagers, creating a tapestry of shared experiences and memories. As she locked the door, she looked up at the starry sky, feeling a profound connection to the village she called home. In her heart, Charlotte knew that each season brought its unique challenges and joys. But it was the constant support and love of the Willowdale community that made her journey worthwhile. As she walked home, the gentle summer breeze carried the faint laughter and music from the day, a reminder of the beautiful tapestry of life in Willowdale. Chapter 4: Autumn's Harvest and Halloween Haunts. As the vibrant hues of summer gave way to the rustic palette of autumn, Willowdale transformed into a tapestry of reds, oranges, and yellows. The crisp air carried the scent of fallen leaves and the promise of harvest. At Charlotte's hearth, the seasonal shift brought an array of pumpkin spice treats and warm apple pies, much to the delight of the villagers. Charlotte, ever in tune with the rhythm of the seasons, decided to host an autumn harvest festival at the bakery. She envisioned a celebration that would honor the farmers' hard work and the abundance of the harvest. The festival would also feature a special attraction, a Halloween-themed evening for the children of Willowdale, complete with costumes and spooky treats. In preparation for the festival, Charlotte collaborated with local farmers, including Mr. Jasper, to source the freshest ingredients. The bakery's menu transformed to reflect the flavors of fall, featuring pumpkin bread, spiced apple tarts, and cinnamon rolls. Ellie, now adept at handling the bakery's day-to-day operations, suggested adding a haunted gingerbread housemaking contest for the children. The days leading up to the festival were a whirlwind of activity. Charlotte and Ellie worked tirelessly, baking in large batches and decorating the hearth with autumnal decorations. Pumpkins, cornstalks, and hay bales adorned the bakery's exterior, creating a festive atmosphere. On the day of the Autumn Harvest Festival, the air was filled with excitement. The villagers, dressed in cozy sweaters and scarves, gathered at Charlotte's hearth, eager to partake in the day's festivities. The bakery was a hub of laughter and conversation as guests enjoyed the hearty fare. As dusk fell, the atmosphere shifted to welcome the Halloween-themed evening. The bakery's windows glowed with eerie light, and cobwebs and spooky decorations set the scene. The children, dressed in their Halloween costumes, arrived with wide eyes and giggles, ready for an evening of fun and frights. The haunted gingerbread house contest was a hit, with children and parents teaming up to create the spookiest edible structures. Charlotte and Ellie marveled at the creativity on display, from ghostly mansions to witchy cabins. The winner was a meticulously crafted, haunted castle, complete with a moat of blue icing and candy monsters. Charlotte also organized a storytelling session where she read ghost stories and folk tales by the light of flickering candles. The children listened, enraptured, as she wove tales of friendly ghosts and magical creatures, her voice adding an air of mystery to the stories. As the evening came to a close, Charlotte felt a sense of accomplishment and joy. The Autumn Harvest Festival and Halloween evening had brought the community together in celebration and had given the children of Willowdale a night to remember. Exhausted but content, Charlotte and Ellie tidied up the bakery, their hearts full of the day's memories. They shared a quiet moment of gratitude for the sense of community and belonging that Charlotte's hearth had fostered in Willowdale. Locking up the bakery, Charlotte looked back at the day's events with a smile. The Autumn Harvest Festival had not only celebrated the season's bounty, but had also woven new threads into the fabric of the village's collective memory. As she walked home under the starlit sky, Charlotte felt deeply connected to Willowdale and its residents. Her journey as a baker intertwined with the lives of those around her. Chapter 5: Winter Whispers and the Snowflake Festival. As the last leaves of autumn fell, Willowdale braced for the onset of winter. The village, nestled in a valley, became a picturesque scene straight from a storybook, with rooftops and trees blanketed in snow. The cold air was crisp and invigorating, encouraging villagers to wrap up in their warmest clothes. In the heart of the village, Charlotte's hearth transformed into a winter wonderland. The bakery, with its warm lights and inviting aroma, became a sanctuary from the cold. Charlotte and Ellie, embracing the season's spirit, introduced a range of winter-themed treats: hot cocoa with marshmallows, gingerbread cookies, and mince pies. The highlight of the winter season in Willowdale was the annual Snowflake Festival, a celebration of the season's beauty and a time for villagers to come together. The festival featured ice sculptures, a winter market, and a snowman building competition. Charlotte's hearth played a central role, providing warm refreshments and a cozy gathering place. Charlotte, enthusiastic about the festival, decided to create a special winter dreamscape inside the bakery. She envisioned an indoor wonderland where customers could enjoy their treats, surrounded by decorations that mimicked a snowy forest, complete with handmade snowflakes hanging from the ceiling and a faux fireplace with crackling logs. The preparations for the Snowflake Festival and the winter dreamscape were extensive. Charlotte and Ellie spent days baking in large quantities and decorating the bakery. The community pitched in too, with volunteers helping to set up the ice sculptures and market stalls. On the day of the Snowflake Festival, Willowdale was a flurry of activity. The village square, adorned with twinkling lights and festive decorations, buzzed with excitement. Artisans sold their wares at the winter market, offering handmade crafts, woolen garments, and seasonal treats. Charlotte's hearth was at the heart of the festivities. The winter dreamscape was a hit, with patrons marveling at the intricate snowflakes and enjoying the warmth of the faux fireplace. The bakery served hot drinks and seasonal pastries, the rich aromas mingling with the sounds of laughter and conversation. The snowman building competition brought together families and friends, each team crafting their unique snow creations. Charlotte and Ellie joined in, fashioning a baker snowman complete with a chef's hat and a gingerbread cookie in hand. As evening fell, the festival reached its climax with the lighting of the community Christmas tree. The villagers gathered around, holding cups of hot cocoa from Charlotte's hearth. as the tree lit up in a dazzling display of lights. The choir sang carols, and the air was filled with a sense of joy and togetherness. After the festival, Charlotte and Ellie closed the bakery, reflecting on the day's success. They felt a profound connection to the villagers and a deep sense of pride in being part of Willowdale's traditions. As they walked home through the snow-covered streets, the quiet beauty of the winter night enveloped them. The Snowflake Festival had not only celebrated the season, but had also reinforced the warmth and unity of the Willowdale community. Chapter 6. The Hearth's Heartwarming Feast. As winter deepened in Willowdale, the hearth became a beacon of warmth and comfort. The village, now a serene tableau of snow-covered roofs and frost-glazed windows, embraced the slower pace of the colder months. The hearth, with its glowing windows and the promise of warmth, beckoned villagers and travelers alike. Charlotte and Ellie, ever the heart and soul of the bakery, decided to host a heartwarming feast, a celebration to uplift spirits during the darkest part of winter. They envisioned an evening where the community could gather, share stories, and enjoy a feast that embodied the comfort and joy of the season. Preparation for the heartwarming feast began weeks in advance. Charlotte, with her culinary expertise, planned a menu that featured hearty stews, freshly baked bread, and a variety of winter desserts. Ellie, with her artistic flair, designed the decorations, transforming the bakery into a cozy winter haven with garlands, candles, and handcrafted centerpieces. The word of the heartwarming feast spread quickly through Willowdale, sparking excitement among the villagers. Reservations filled up fast, and Charlotte and Ellie found themselves preparing for a full house. They worked tirelessly, baking in large batches and decorating with meticulous care. On the eve of the feast, the hearth was a vision of warmth and festivity. The tables were set with fine linen, candles flickered in decorative holders, and the air was filled with the mouth-watering aromas of the feast to come. As guests arrived, wrapped in their warmest cloaks and scarves, they were greeted by the radiant smiles of Charlotte and Ellie. The bakery, usually bustling with the sounds of casual cafe chatter, now resonated with the lively hum of a grand celebration. The feast began with a hearty vegetable stew, rich and flavorful, served with slices of crusty bread. Conversations flowed easily as villagers shared stories of past winters and the joy of coming together in the heart of their community. Ellie, taking a moment from serving, joined an elderly couple at their table. They reminisced about the bakery's role in the village over the years, sharing tales of past owners and the evolution of the hearth. Ellie listened, fascinated by the living history sitting before her. Charlotte, meanwhile, circulated among the guests, ensuring everyone was well fed and comfortable. Her eyes sparkled with pride as she saw the joy her cooking brought to the faces around her. As the evening progressed, the feast continued with a selection of winter desserts, spiced apple pies, pumpkin tarts, and warm, gooey chocolate brownies. The bakery was filled with the sounds of contentment and laughter, a true testament to the sense of community the hearth had fostered. To conclude the evening, the villagers gathered around the hearth, the bakery's namesake and centerpiece. Charlotte and Ellie joined them, feeling a deep sense of belonging. Together, they shared stories, sang songs, and basked in the warmth of the fire and each other's company. The heartwarming feast was more than just a culinary event. It was a celebration of community, warmth, and the enduring spirit of Willowdale. As guests departed, wrapped in the comfort of shared joy and good food, Charlotte and Ellie knew they had created a memory that would warm the hearts of the villagers for winters to come. Chapter 7: A Snowflake's Tale in Willowdale. As winter's embrace tightened around Willowdale, the hearth continued to be a sanctuary for its residents. The village, now a picturesque scene of glistening snow and frosted windows, seemed like a page out of a fairy tale. In this serene setting, an unexpected visitor would bring a new tale to the hearth's already rich tapestry. One particularly snowy evening, as Charlotte and Ellie were preparing to close, a traveler, cloaked in a heavy, snow-dusted coat, entered the bakery. His arrival brought a gust of cold air and an air of mystery. He introduced himself as Nicholas, a storyteller traveling through the region, seeking shelter and warmth for the night. Intrigued by his presence and the potential stories he carried, Charlotte and Ellie offered him a seat by the fire. As Nicholas unwrapped himself from his layers, the warmth of the bakery seemed to breathe new life into him. He gratefully accepted a cup of hot cocoa and a slice of Ellie's famous apple pie. As the night deepened and the snow outside grew thicker, Nicholas began to weave a tale, his voice echoing gently in the cozy confines of the hearth. He spoke of distant lands, enchanted forests, and adventures that captivated Charlotte, Ellie, and a few late-night patrons who had lingered in the warmth of the bakery. His story was about a snowflake, unique and delicate, that embarked on a journey across various landscapes. It danced through crisp winter air, twirled around towering mountains, and fluttered through silent, sleeping forests. The snowflake's journey was a metaphor for life's fragility and beauty, a tale that resonated deeply with the listeners. Charlotte and Ellie, enchanted by Nicholas's storytelling, insisted he stay the night. They offered him a room above the bakery, a small but comfortable space that often served as a haven for travelers. Nicholas, touched by their kindness, accepted. The following morning, the village of Willowdale awoke to a winter wonderland. The snow had transformed the village overnight, draping every tree and roof in a pristine white blanket. Nicholas, inspired by the beauty of the village and the hospitality he had received, decided to stay a few more days. During his stay, Nicholas became a fixture at the hearth. Each evening, as the bakery wound down, he'd share a new story, drawing from his vast repertoire of tales and legends. His stories brought an added warmth to the bakery, attracting villagers who would otherwise have stayed tucked away in their homes. Charlotte and Ellie found a new rhythm with Nicholas's presence. They introduced themed menu items inspired by his stories, creating dishes that complemented the tales he told. The bakery became a hub of activity, with people coming not just for the food and warmth, but for the enchantment of Nicholas's storytelling. As the days passed, Nicholas shared more than just stories. He shared his wisdom and experiences, leaving a lasting impact on Charlotte, Ellie, and the villagers. His presence reminded them of the power of stories to connect, inspire, and bring warmth to even the coldest of winters. The day Nicholas announced his departure was met with a collective sense of loss. However, he left behind a gift, a small, intricately carved snowflake pendant, a token of his gratitude. This pendant would hang above the hearth, a reminder of the storyteller and the magic he brought to the hearth. Chapter 8. The Festival of Lights. In Willowdale, winter in Willowdale continued to weave its magical spell over the village, and as the festive season approached, a sense of excitement and anticipation filled the air. The hearth, now buzzing with stories from Nicholas's visit, prepared for the annual Festival of Lights, a cherished event that symbolized hope and community spirit. Charlotte and Ellie, inspired by the tales and the festive season, decided to do something special for the festival. They planned to create a unique experience at the hearth, combining their culinary skills with the warm ambience of storytelling. The idea was to make the hearth the focal point of the festival, a place where warmth, light, and joy would emanate. As the festival drew near, the entire village transformed. Streets and houses were adorned with twinkling lights, colorful decorations, and evergreen garlands. The crisp winter air was filled with the sense of pine, spiced cider, and roasted chestnuts. In the heart of this festive splendor, the hearth stood beautifully decorated, inviting and homely. The festival's first evening was magical. The hearth was illuminated by a soft golden glow, with strings of delicate fairy lights and candles in every window. Inside, the bakery was a haven of warmth, the air rich with the scent of cinnamon, nutmeg, and freshly baked treats. Charlotte and Ellie had outdone themselves, creating a menu of festive delicacies that included spiced hot chocolate, gingerbread cookies, and a spectacular Yule log cake. But the highlight of the evening was the storytelling. Taking inspiration from Nicholas, Charlotte and Ellie invited local storytellers to share their tales. Each story, unique and heartfelt, captivated the audience. There were tales of winter spirits, brave adventurers, and mythical creatures, each adding to the enchantment of the evening. As the festival continued, the hearth became more than just a bakery. It became a place of gathering, where people from all walks of life came together to celebrate. Young and old, families and friends, everyone shared in the joy and warmth of the season. The festival also became a time of giving and sharing. Charlotte and Ellie organized a charity drive, collecting food, clothing, and toys for those in need. The community's response was overwhelming, with villagers generously contributing to the cause. The hearth's spirit of kindness and community shone bright, reflecting the true essence of the festival. On the final night of the Festival of Lights, a special event took place. The village gathered for a grand illumination, where hundreds of lanterns were lit and released into the winter sky. The sight was breathtaking as the lanterns drifted upwards, creating a river of light against the dark canvas of the night. The Festival of Lights was a resounding success, leaving an indelible mark on the hearts of Willowdale's residents. It reinforced the sense of community, bringing everyone closer in the spirit of celebration and goodwill. As the festival came to a close, Charlotte and Ellie felt a profound sense of accomplishment and happiness. The hearth had not only been a central part of the celebrations, but had also strengthened its place as the heart of the community. Chapter 9. A Winter's Tale at the Hearth. As the last of the Festival of Lights decorations were taken down, Willowdale settled into the deep quiet of winter. The hearth, now a beacon of warmth in the chilly landscape, continued to be a hub of activity and cheer. Charlotte and Ellie, inspired by the success of the festival, planned a new venture, a winter storytelling series. They envisioned cozy evenings filled with captivating tales, hot drinks, and sweet treats, bringing the community together in the heart of winter. The series was named A Winter's Tale at the Hearth, and it was to feature a mix of local and visiting storytellers. Each week, a new theme was chosen, ranging from folklore and fairy tales to stories of personal triumph and adventure. The aim was to create a tapestry of narratives that celebrated the human spirit and the magic of storytelling. As the series began, the hearth transformed on storytelling nights. The bakery's interior was rearranged to create a comfortable, intimate setting. Plush cushions and warm blankets were scattered around, and the lighting was softened, creating a cozy ambience. The oven's warmth and the aroma of baking filled the air, adding to the inviting atmosphere. Charlotte and Ellie curated a special menu for these nights, featuring seasonal favorites like mulled wine, apple cider, and a variety of pies and pastries. Each item was crafted to complement the evening's theme, enhancing the storytelling experience. The first night was a resounding success. The storyteller, an elderly local named Mr. Hemsley, captivated the audience with tales of his youth, filled with adventure and wonder. His stories, though simple, were rich with emotion and wisdom, leaving the listeners in awe. The atmosphere at the hearth was electric, with every face illuminated by the soft glow of candles, hanging on every word. As the weeks passed, A Winter's Tale at the Hearth grew in popularity. People looked forward to these gatherings, finding comfort and joy in the shared experience. The stories varied greatly, from humorous anecdotes to poignant tales of love and loss, each evoking a range of emotions among the audience. One particularly memorable night featured a young traveler who had journeyed across the world. Her stories, filled with descriptions of distant lands and cultures, opened the eyes of Willowdale's residents to the wonders beyond their village. The hearth was filled with a sense of wanderlust that evening, as people dreamed of their adventures. Another night was dedicated to the children of Willowdale. The bakery was alive with laughter and excitement as they listened to fantastical tales of dragons, knights, and enchanted forests. Charlotte and Ellie prepared special treats for the children, including magical-themed cookies and hot chocolate topped with mountains of whipped cream and sprinkles. The storytelling series not only brought entertainment, but also deepened the sense of community. People shared their own stories, forging new friendships and strengthening old ones. The hearth became more than just a bakery. It was a place of connection and belonging. As winter waned and the first signs of spring appeared, A Winter's Tale at the Hearth came to a close. The final night was bittersweet, with many expressing how much they would miss the weekly gatherings. Charlotte and Ellie, overwhelmed by the positive impact of the series, promised that it would return the following winter. With the end of the series, Willowdale seemed to awaken from its winter slumber. The hearth, having played a vital role in keeping the spirit of the village alive during the colder months, prepared for the new season ahead. New challenges and opportunities awaited Charlotte, Ellie, and the hearth, but they faced them with optimism and the unwavering support of their community. Chapter 10: Spring Renewal at the Hearth. As the final frost melted away and the first blooms of spring began to dot the landscape of Willowdale, a sense of renewal and anticipation filled the air. At the hearth, Charlotte and Ellie were busy planning for the new season. Inspired by the success of A Winter's Tale, they wanted to continue fostering community spirit and decided to celebrate the arrival of spring with a special event. The event, titled Spring Awakening at the Hearth, was envisioned as a day-long festival to welcome the new season. It would feature an array of activities, including a farmer's market, cooking workshops, and a flower arranging contest. The highlight of the festival was to be an outdoor feast showcasing local produce and the hearth's culinary delights. Preparations for the festival began in earnest. Charlotte and Ellie reached out to local farmers, artisans, and musicians, inviting them to participate. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many excited to be a part of the celebration. The hearth itself underwent a transformation. Colorful banners and floral decorations adorned the bakery, creating a festive and welcoming atmosphere. The outdoor space was set up with stalls for the farmers' market, a stage for live music, and seating areas for the feast. As the day of the festival arrived, Willowdale buzzed with excitement. Residents and visitors alike flocked to the hearth, greeted by the scent of fresh flowers and the sound of lively music. The farmers' market was a hit, with stalls offering a variety of local produce, handmade crafts, and artisanal goods. One of the highlights of the festival was the cooking workshops led by Charlotte and Ellie. Participants learned how to make seasonal dishes using ingredients from the farmers' market. The workshops were not only informative, but also a fun way for community members to bond over their love of food. The flower arranging contest brought out the creative side of Willowdale's residents. The array of beautiful arrangements showcased the talent and imagination of the participants. The winning arrangement was displayed at the hearth, adding to the festival's charm. As the day turned to evening, the outdoor feast began. Long tables were laden with dishes prepared by Charlotte, Ellie, and their team, featuring the best of spring's bounty. The feast was a celebration of community and the joy of sharing a meal together. Laughter and conversation filled the air as people savored the delicious food and enjoyed the company of friends and neighbors. The festival concluded with a performance by a local band, their music echoing through the streets of Willowdale. People danced and sang along, making the most of the beautiful spring evening. The sense of community spirit was palpable, a testament to the power of gatherings like Spring Awakening at the Hearth. As the night drew to a close, Charlotte and Ellie looked around at the happy faces, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. The hearth had once again played a crucial role in bringing the community together, this time to celebrate the promise and beauty of spring. In the months that followed, the hearth continued to be a beloved gathering place in Willowdale. Each season brought new events, new flavors, and new stories. Charlotte and Ellie, along with their dedicated team, ensured that the hearth remained a warm, welcoming space for all who entered. As our story comes to an end, we leave the hearth in the capable hands of Charlotte and Ellie, confident that it will continue to be a cornerstone of the Willowdale community for many years to come. The hearth, with its inviting glow and the aroma of freshly baked bread, will always be a place where stories are shared, friendships are forged, and the heart of the community beats strong. Thank you for joining us tonight at Soothing Moonlight. As we draw the curtain on our journey through the enchanting world of Hearth and the vibrant life of Willowdale, I, Matthew Higgins, feel deeply privileged to have been your guide and narrator. Our story, woven with the threads of community, warmth, and tranquility, aimed to transport you to a world where simplicity and harmony reign. In Willowdale, we encountered characters who remind us of the beauty in everyday moments, the joy of small gestures, and the strength found in togetherness. These stories, set against the backdrop of Hearth's quaint charm, were crafted to offer you a respite from the rush of daily life, a moment to unwind and indulge in the pleasure of storytelling. At Soothing Moonlight, our mission is to create a haven where calmness and serenity are just a play button away. We believe in the power of stories to soothe the mind, calm the heart, and inspire the soul. Each tale we tell is chosen with care, designed to bring you a sense of peace and relaxation. As tonight's story comes to a close, we hope that it has been a comforting companion to you. Whether you're settling down for the night, seeking a moment of peace, or simply enjoying the art of storytelling, we are here to provide that gentle escape. We cherish the time we've spent together and look forward to more enchanting nights at Soothing Moonlight. Remember, every story is a journey, and every journey brings new discoveries. May the stories of Hearth and Willowdale linger in your dreams, bringing you tranquility and a restful night. From all of us here at Soothing Moonlight, we wish you a peaceful sleep and sweet dreams. May you wake up refreshed and rejuvenated, ready to embrace the opportunities and joys of a new day. Until we meet again in our next video, good night and take care.
you.